We're talking about the psychology of failure and how to win the battle. The second case study that I wanted to bring up from Businesses War is pets.com. And the thing that we have been focusing on is the fact that everything is strategy, from leveraging partnerships to scaling a business to the potentiality of exiting at a higher multiple because of mergers.
Yes.
JT positioned this case study in showing what was the fear. So the fear from pets.com was missing out on the booming internet wave of the early 2000s. So driven by the fear of falling behind competitors, they rushed to scale without developing a sustainable strategy, which means that they just didn't have the infrastructure for scaling.
That is huge.
I was remembering about when I had a client, and this was a restaurant. So this was the food and beverage industry, and they started to decline in their margin. So definitely losing profit. And they asked me to help them and what I could do. And they hired me on the side of branding, and then going from branding into content creation and marketing, social media management, creating campaigns, strategies. And then so I was like, how aggressive do you guys want to be? So as we were going to go into an influencer strategy, they were hesitant at first because they were like, wait, we actually can't do the campaigns yet. And I was like, why? Because they said, we don't know if we have the capacity for the flood of people that are about to arrive. We have to check with the kitchen. We have to check with the chef. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Because what did happen is they got like a big boom of reservations after a strategy was implemented. But they really had to have like that infrastructure in place, meaning that they put out some ads for more staff. And they had to make sure that it was a very small kitchen. So we even had to make sure that the timing of the food and the demand of the food and every single shift was ready to go. And so even though they were afraid, they weren't, they knew that the implications were failing and losing business and getting bad reviews that would essentially plummet them, because Yelp actually does impact food and beverage significantly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were very weary about that, which was wise. So with pets.com, they let the fear drive them instead.
Yeah, that's so paralyzing. And I love the story you shared.
Yeah, because when you act out of fear, you'll make decisions in desperation, and that's not implementing wise decisions at all. What it says here too is the mistake. Pets.com focused heavily on aggressive marketing, spending millions on an iconic Super Bowl ad featuring its sock puppet mascot. However, they neglected operational efficiency and profitability. The cost of shipping bulky pet supplies often exceeded the revenue generated per order, making their business model fundamentally. Because they saw what was happening, they were able to test the air. Like, for instance, right now, everybody knows that AI has pretty much taken over industries, either been integrated or, for instance, it slimmed down the workforce for some industries.
For sure.
So people know that AI is here to stay. The technology is increasing at a rapid fire. And JT has definitely created AI implementation, automated systems. He says, replicate your brain. So if a company is knowing that technology is at the space of AI integration, but they don't have the know-how to strategically use AI in their business, then it could be a potential disaster, because what that would say is, I know that this is the thing to do right now, and I am afraid of getting left behind. So I'm just going to act without even having strategy.
So then now it's also wasted energy, wasted time, wasted resources, because now you're just hoping something's going to work. And, just like you were saying with the AI, it's here to stay. And so there's no need to be left behind, because the resources and the ecosystem and the and the product is here from trusted resources as JT Foxx, and ride along the wave, on the wave as it goes, and just creates this amazing opportunity to scale and grow your business in today's age.
You know what the crazy thing is too? When we're looking at the mistake from pets.com, it says pets.com focused heavily on aggressive marketing, spending millions on an iconic Super Bowl ad. Their fear was we're getting left behind because they recognized the wave of e-commerce. So what they did, and I've been hearing that businesses think, oh, this is a marketing issue. If we just market, we're going to scale effectively. And that's not the case either, because all you'll be doing, exactly what pets.com did, is exhaust ad spend.
Right. Exactly.
And so that's why when you strategically partner with someone, if you're going to merge with someone, merge with a platform that has established branding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the goal, is to be able to tap into something bigger than you.
So the consequence of pets.com exhausting their ad spend, again, they saw the wave of e-commerce. They didn't want to get left behind. Their strategy was to scale through marketing efforts. They exhausted millions. And in just 2 years, pets.com burned through $300 million.
Ouch.
300.
That is painful. That is painful.
Yeah.
Oh, that can certainly wipe companies out completely, entirely.
Right. 1 million, like it said 1 million for like a Super Bowl ad. Okay. No, this is 300 times. And then in 2 years.
Yeah. And maybe hesitation for making the right moves because of fear. No, I'm more comfortable doing something this way. And so because we're familiar and it worked before, maybe we'll stay doing things that way. And for whatever reasons of fear that keep you from moving in the right directions, there's a high price to pay.
The tale of warning for us right now. So first, number one, pets.com, they saw that e-commerce was the wave happening right now in that time for early 2000s. With fear of being left behind, they said, let's do some aggressive marketing. So
Right.
It goes to show that in the face of fear, a strategy of scaling through marketing efforts, even at a $300 million cost, will fail. It will fail.
Yes. Yes. Well, it caused the company to file for bankruptcy in 2000.
Ugh.
They had to file for bankruptcy. What a tragedy.
Yeah.
And they were huge.
Yeah. So if you're a company out there and you are afraid to get left behind, don't make decisions out of fear. It is a guarantee. Even with marketing efforts at $300 million, you will fail. That's what this is saying.
Yes. Yes. Well, in his book, he says to measure your return on investment on hype. So marketing only works if it leads to long-term customer loyalty and sustained revenue. And that pets.com gained brand awareness, but struggled to convert that into lasting profitability.
Right. Because if I tell you, Ruth, hey, we need to grow. Everyone has AI. Everyone is scaling. Everyone is automating. Everyone this and that and the other. So here's the thing. I have $50 million and I think we need to do marketing. What are you going to tell me? Automatically, you're going to tell me no, because I'm coming from a fear-based standpoint where I'm looking at everyone else without having a real strategy of our own. Marketing needs to have a strategy. Marketing isn't a strategy unless you have intention behind every single move.
Absolutely.
So scaling amplifies all your flaws.
Oh, wow. Just chew on that one for a little bit. Scaling amplifies your inefficiencies. And he says, scaling amplifies insufficiencies. Before expanding, make sure your core business model is capable of sustaining profitability.
Because if you don't have the infrastructure and you start to scale, it's going to expose the fact that you can't handle that many clients, customers. You can't provide X amount.
Yes, everything starts at a fundamental level at the beginning, because if you you market and you're opening your restaurant and you have all this food that you ordered in and you marketed to get all these customers, but you didn't hire the employees, you're going to have some really mad customers. So that they're sitting there for an hour, but the quality of the food was from the top chef. The marketing was done beautifully and the branding is outrageously awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought everybody in, but you did not hire the employees and the waiters and the waitresses, and people to handle the counter. It fails. So, and it's a very simplistic example. That's just, a parallel of strategy and making sure that all the gaps are filled because it's on the fundamental level. Because after you start building momentum and scaling, now it's harder to create the basics well and strong because now there's a pattern of something that's growing. And like he says, it amplifies the inefficiencies. So the next point, measure return on investment on hype. Marketing only works if it leads to long-term customer loyalty and sustained revenue. Pets.com gained brand awareness but struggled to convert that into lasting profitability. What does that mean to you, Isa? What are you gathering from that?
Like how the previous point of scaling amplifies inefficiencies. So measure the ROI based on the retention of your customer base. So as long as people keep coming back, it means that your marketing efforts have been successful. So the metrics on great marketing, the metrics on your strategies for marketing are based upon your retention rate.
Yes, exactly.
Customer loyalty, or even from a brand perspective, brand loyalty, like that is the biggest end goal. Even with luxury brands in fashion, they have brand loyalty through their perfumes. So even though some clientele cannot afford like all the items off the rack or even the items on the runway. So from runway to on the rack to the perfumes, the tier structure of pricing considerably differ from the runway to the scents. And so the way that people experience brand loyalty for a luxury brand in fashion is that they buy the perfumes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, or like subscription based products.
When you do what you love, people will love what you do. Now I want all that you have because they're loyal.
For businesses that are service based, like for instance, HVAC companies or CPA firms or those businesses, I can only imagine that when it comes to like marketing efforts, there is a definite way that is like standard in the industry. But say, for instance, you step out of what is standard and you're like, wait a minute, what would relationship equity look like for my business? What can JT's private equity team do for my brand? How can they scale it? How can they build my brand that is an authority in my industry? So looking at the leverage of partnership is what I would say would have been amazing for pets.com had JT been who JT is now in early 2000s.
I so agree.
Now you and I are here and we're helping businesses.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So that there can be a safe strategy and a way that they don't have to bleed out of pocket.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many wins about it for companies that are wanting to grow and scale and exit. And so the standards of who comes on board and how the systems are carried out and the processes are top notch, second to none, because we take every relationship so seriously. And everything matters about each company. We are putting people together to grow together, to win together. And so it's not just numbers, it's about people. It is about people. That's the biggest part of business to me is caring for people and bringing solutions where they're needed and having a wonderful impact on those around you that need your help and want your help. So that's why I feel so good about what we're doing, Isa. I love what we're doing.
100%. We're about the people behind the business. I would like to just put out this last point, which is businesses must balance ambition with strategic patience to ensure long-term success. So emphasis on patience, because when it comes to business, there's a lot of like, do this or else, where when it's really about be patient to let your fear subside so that you can act with a discerning mind. And what I would tell pets.com now is to sustain what they've built. The fact that they built to a certain point that was so established and successful. And then I would definitely advise to go to someone who is up and coming, in the know, that because it looks like they were long running, but it was the new wave that they were trying to understand. And I can totally see how someone that has established themselves in the previous decades, who is seeing the new wave of what is now, being like, what do I do though? Because we haven't streamlined anything with this in mind of AI or whatever it is that they're going to face in terms of technology advancing. So what
Yeah.
I would definitely say is team up with a partnership that is established in this current phase of what is impacting the industry. And so what I love is that JT has already built infrastructures of AI implementation to serve businesses that have already been established for X amount of decades, where they can leverage what he's been doing now without fear. So instead of going into their fear of decision making and doing it alone, because doing it alone when you don't know, you haven't mastered what is happening now, is exhausting energy 100%.
Yes. Not energy, time, resources,
Risking the business, the whole business.
risking the business. That's so valuable and important to know that you're in a safe place, that you know you're going to be taken care of, and a place that you can trust.
We are the filtering system to
Yes.
qualify
Yes.
businesses valued over 1 million in service-based industries, and helping them really reach their highest potential as far as legacy. That to me is so rewarding in what we're doing. This is a win-win for the right business.